Hi, loves. How are you? So good to see you as always. And if you are jumping on and watching live, say hello to me so I can connect. We can connect. I love to see you and engage with you and utilize this positive space and community to support each other because that is what this is about. We are all in this together. We're all in our own journey and timeline, but we are all looking at the greater good of making nutrition more supportive and realistic in our lives. And that is a piece that I wanted to talk with you about today is measuring success. So I'm curious to know, how do you typically measure success with your nutrition goals? If you're on a diet program, what are you looking at towards success in your efforts? Oftentimes, when we're on a diet, we are looking at success towards losing a certain amount of weight in a specific time. And people ask me this. So, how much weight do I need to lose in a week? How much weight do I need to lose in X amount of time? What is my weight loss goal? We actually don't have weight loss goals with my clients. And let me preface more about what I mean by this. So we maybe have a timeline. Sorry, keeps going off. We may have a timeline of where we want to be eventually, right? It's like, okay, this is my ideal place that I want to be, that I feel comfortable, that I feel healthy. But we're not looking at in 1 month, I need to lose X amount of weight, because that is literally setting you up to be frustrated and to be disappointed, because so many things happen in a month that are out of our control that we have to learn to adapt and pivot towards. And the first even 3 months that I'm working with people is a lot of times just gaining awareness around maybe things that we thought we were doing better or that are more challenging than we realized. We're building awareness around what habits are supporting us and what habits that we need to reprioritize to get to that goal. Because whatever method that you're using to achieve a goal, you have to sustain to maintain the results that you've gotten, right? So if you're using a method that you know is not realistic for you in the long term, you're not going to sustain your results, right? So I think that many people know how to lose weight. It's not a secret, but it's more about maintaining the weight that we're losing because of the method that got you there. But I wanted to talk today about measuring success beyond the scale, because if you're only focused on that one number as success or failure, it's so frustrating. And one of the biggest pieces that I'm asking my clients every single week is what are we celebrating beyond the scale? What successes are we recognizing? And I'm going to go over some of those, what that looks like, because this is something we have to constantly remind ourselves. What are other aspects in my life that are improving as a result of the effort that I'm making? Because honestly, the weight loss is a side effect. It's a result of the things that we're doing, the habits that we're creating, the behaviors that we're choosing to ultimately get towards that goal. And when we put that number in, I tell my clients, this is a data point within the big picture of all of the other aspects we're looking at, because I take a very holistic approach with things. We're looking at all the pieces of the puzzle, not just nutrition and not just the scale. So our nutrition is dependent on how much sleep that we've gotten, what our activity levels are, what our gender, our age, our current weight, our dieting history. If you have lost and gained weight for so many years of your life, this is going to affect how quickly your body responds to things as well. So there's so many pieces: hydration, digestion. So let's talk about other ways that we can identify success beyond the scale. And let me know in the comments, what are some things that you use to identify success in your nutrition goals? So maybe this looks like performance in your workouts. And I just had one of my clients message me this morning that she PR'd in one of her classes this morning that she hadn't done since last September, which is amazing, right? That feels so good when we make a personal record for ourselves, because you're your only competition, really. Nobody else's journey is relevant to you. So that's always a good feeling. Maybe you're stronger, you're increasing weights in the gym, you have more endurance, you can go for a longer period of time while still having energy. You're more motivated to actually move. If you are under eating and eating way too low of a calorie deficit, your body doesn't have the energy to want to move, to want to do those extra things, or to even want to work out. So having motivation to want to move, better recovery. So you're able to feel better in your workout sooner than you used to. Your digestion is better, so you feel less bloated. You're going to the bathroom more regularly. You have more formed bowel movements. And this isn't the most fun thing to talk about, but it is so relevant to our nutrition, and it identifies what we're putting in our body by what's coming out, right? When we are like with babies, what is the one thing that you are totally dialed into? Their bowel movements, right? That you're literally tracking those all the time. And that's looking at what they're getting, what they need more of. Same in the older population in geriatrics. I used to work in that space more. And part of documentation is bowel movements, right? This stuff matters in our digestion and so important to look at. So, how that's improving. Clear skin. So maybe you notice your skin is hydrated, you have less breakouts, or you notice that you're only maybe breaking out around your cycle, which is normal when you recognize the hormone changes, but your overall skin is clear. The whites of your eyes are clear. That is such a difference with overall nutrition, sleep, rest, all of those things. You're able to wear the clothes that you want. And I hear this from women very often, that they don't feel like they can wear the styles of clothes that they want. And that's not a good feeling. Like, you want to be able to wake up, get dressed, and move on with your day and feel good. And your clothes maybe are fitting better. You have sustained energy. Majority of people that start working with me in the beginning say that they have that like 3 o'clock crash, or in the afternoon, they have that like total slump. They feel they get headaches throughout the day. They have blood sugar roller coasters. So maybe it's like blood sugar goes up and then it crashes and they feel drained. They're craving sugar. So maybe you're noticing that you actually wake up and feel rested. You don't have that 3 p.m. afternoon slump, that you're actually ready to go to bed when it's time to go to bed, which is healthy. You're supposed to be tired, go to bed, wake up, feel rested. That's really the goal. So you're not tired and wired, right? That feeling of like, I'm exhausted, but I'm wired. You are more confident in what works for you and your food choices. This is such a huge piece that I celebrate with my clients when they say, I feel like I'm able to eat normally. So many people say, I don't feel like I eat normally, or what that even means. And when you understand what works for you, it is the most empowering feeling, because then when you go out into the diet noise, because it's out there everywhere in the grocery store, at parties, you're constantly hearing this noise of, oh, this person's doing this diet and this person's eating this way, and oh, this and that. But you're able to filter that so much better because you know what works for you. And you can, say, cool, I'm glad that you're trying, or whatever, take it as, at that point, it's not worth changing anybody's mind. Everybody's in their own journey, but you can say, I know what I need to do, and I can just filter the noise of all the diet craziness that's out there. It's such a good feeling when you understand that. You have a greater sense of respect for yourself and prioritizing your needs. Huge piece with women. Happy Women's Day, International Women's Day. Oh my goodness. Happy Women's Day. Yes. But when you are starting to take care of yourself more often, you feel better and you're able to make better choices. I start my day taking care of my energy and myself first every day. If I don't, I notice it really is hard for me to better balance all of the stuff that comes at me throughout the day. So the first few, even hours, I'm up pretty early, hours of my day are dedicated for myself and giving my mental and physical energy what it needs to support all of the noise that comes at me during the day. So once you learn how this looks for your life, it's such a good feeling, and you actually want to prioritize your needs more often. And this is just a mindset shift, because so we're just conditioned to take care of everybody else first, and that's considered valuable in our culture. Of course, that is so important to take care of other people and to be kind and caring, until it becomes at the cost of your own health. And then we really need to check back in and make sure that we're doing the things to support us. And I was just talking with my clients this morning, and she said, I'm realizing that I am that person that takes care of everybody else first, but no one's even asking me to do that. I'm just doing that. And I need to more check in with myself, make sure I'm doing that for myself first. You have less guilt around food, and learning how to incorporate foods that you enjoy in a realistic way that feels nourishing. There is a huge difference between having a couple pieces of chocolate that feels nourishing and satisfying versus having, 2 chocolate bars or overeating that one food. It doesn't feel nourishing at that point. So when you're able to include the things that you value and foods that you value in your day in a way that feels good, such a good feeling, without feeling like in the past, maybe you would overeat a box of cereal, and now you can have a reasonable amount of cereal, feel good, and move on. It's the best. It's the best. And it's totally possible. So that's all these examples of non-scale victories. You have a better relationship with foods. You can have a few bites of dessert without feeling guilty. And that's success. Some days it's skipping dessert because you really didn't want it and it's not supporting your goal. So success every day can look totally different. You're incorporating more nutrient dense foods into your diet. You're recognizing that you are thirstier and you're drinking water more consistently. You're establishing routines and rhythms to your day that supports you. You feel so much better when you get back from trips and vacations. This is a huge piece versus feeling like you totally overdid it and have to start over again. You're able to jump back into your routine and not feel completely off the rails from vacation or holidays or trips. Your whole attitude around holidays and events changes. You feel more in control with these experiences. And this, again, is a huge piece I'm working with people around. Some people have very social lives and they enjoy that. That's something they value. They want to do that. They want to go out to eat regularly. They want to travel. They just, that's something they value. That's great. That's awesome. But we have to learn how to fit that in your life in a way that is also supporting you and working towards your goals. And one of my clients is doing that right now. And it's so cool to see how she's transitioned to learning how she can fit this in her life while still moving towards her goals in a supportive way. And every event may look different, which is so interesting. Like some days at events, you really want more of those nutrient dense foods. Some days you want more of the dessert. Some days you want more, a couple glasses of wine, and it has to pivot. But it's, again, looking at the things as a whole versus just like this little isolated moment that is so often dictating the whole week, which is just not true. Maybe you're showing up better in other roles in your life as a result of prioritizing yourself more often. You're talking kinder to yourself. You're giving yourself more grace and compassion. We are our own worst critics. We are so hard on ourselves. And when we're starting to be more kind, this is a huge win with being more compassionate. The best transformations you will produce in your life is not related to what the scale says, because these are all related to experience, emotions, and feelings. And these things, these feelings, these emotions, these experiences are really what we want. This is actually what brings joy and happiness to our lives. And this is going to motivate us to want to continue to do the things long term because of how we feel. The number on the scale is not going to continue to motivate you to make these choices and show up for yourself. So, based on all of those things that we just went through, what is one indicator of success that you are focusing on for yourself this week beyond the scale? I would love to know what that looks like for you. Was this valuable in shifting your perspective from just looking at success on the scale versus all of these other data points? We didn't even talk about so many things: stress management. We talked about sleep, but all of these biofeedback measures is how I look at them in my coaching program, are so interesting to see how they change and adapt when we start to look at all of these aspects of our life holistically. So I hope that was valuable for you guys. And that was just a change of perspective. Happy International Women's Day today. If you're watching this live on Tuesday, I'm so proud of everybody for showing up for themselves and just getting where you are in this moment. If there's anything that I can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you're watching this replay, say hi to me. I always love to connect with you. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning.